Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hobart begins now.
Good evening. A knife-wielding man has kept police at bay for 8 hours in a tense siege taking place in Port Sorell. Our reporter Tom Johnson is near the standoff and joins us now. Tom, we understand this started as a family dispute.
Good evening, Louise. Yes, it did. A woman and child managed to escape unharmed, and they were the ones who alerted authorities. Not long after, tactical police flooded the streets here in Port Sorell. They've circled a home in Blackwood Court where the man, a 41-year-old, has barricaded himself inside armed with a knife. Negotiators are in uneasy talks with him. He's made verbal threats to those trying to settle this dispute, and 8 hours in, he hasn't given himself up yet.
It's his own welfare and well-being. There's some issues around his mental health that we're concerned about, and so that's why we'll negotiate until we get a peaceful resolution. That's our aim.
Around a dozen homes have been evacuated, some going to a makeshift refuge at the local fire station. And in the last hour or so, the SES has turned up with extra crews and resources and lights as well. So that means police could be in for a long night ahead, Louise.
All right, thank you for that, Tom. A Tasmanian public servant has been charged after allegedly releasing more than 1,000 vehicle registration records. For more, our reporter Josh Duggan joins us now. Good evening, Josh. What do we know about this case?
Louise, late this afternoon, the State Growth Department revealed a staff member has been stood down following investigation into the matter. Tasmania Police has charged a 34-year-old woman from Hobart with unauthorised access to a computer. It's alleged over 4 years the woman inappropriately handed over records from the National Vehicle Registration Database to an external party for debt recovery purposes. Those records believed to be not just limited to Tasmanians. The woman is due to face court later this year. A process is now underway to contact anyone impacted, and measures have been put into place to restrict access to the system. And Louise, State Growth says it's deeply sorry for any concern the alleged incident may have already caused, and it's already engaged external experts to look into the incident.
East Coast businesses are rejoicing tonight with the Tasman Highway at Paradise Gorge finally open. But locals are heading out at the state government for the snap closure as they continue to feel the effects of 6 weeks isolation.
It's been a tough few weeks for the Buckland Roadhouse, with the Tasman Highway closing, its income drying up and trade plummeting by 70%.
It's cost us to open the doors. That's how it is.
But just before 7 this morning, the highway at Paradise Gorge reopened and customers began pouring in.
I got a bit worried at 6 o'clock when I opened the doors and there was no one here, but then they all started flooding through and it was wonderful. I got a bit teary actually.
The Buckland Town Hall serving as a temporary school, now open in time for the new term. But traders say they're still reeling from the snap closure.
Preparing for the long weekend, then getting told, oh no, the highway's going to shut. So we're like, well, what are we going to do now?
Off the back of COVID, I mean, you're talking about venues who are doing it tough already, so these sort of impacts really have a big effect on those sort of small communities.
For some, the trip to Orford felt like a road to nowhere.
We went up via the Midlands Highway and it took about a 4.5 hour round trip to get here.
Since the road's closure, locals had been relying on Wailangta Road for their daily commute, but it's not suitable for large volumes of traffic. They're now calling on the state government to reseal the road.
I had to travel through a couple of times to go to the doctor because my doctor's at Tribunna, and so had to go through on the Wailangta Road, and coming back in the dark was a bit testy.
We know there are a range of landowners along that road, and so the state government going forward will work with those landowners to see what further improvements can be made in that road in the future.
But for now, the community hopes today's opening marks the end of the road for 6 weeks of isolation. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
New data has revealed it's now more expensive to rent a house in Hobart than in Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide or Perth. Rents in the capital hit record highs last month, with the average cost now sitting at $495 a week. Over the past 5 years, rents increased by 41%, surpassing every other capital city. The Domain data says the skyrocketing prices have been caused by significant population growth and Tasmania's control of COVID, enticing people to the state. Rough, rugged and spectacular, just like the West Coast. That's the review of Queenstown's new Mount Owen mountain bike park. The network is set to open this month, reaffirming Tasmania's status as the best spot in the Southern Hemisphere for the rapidly growing sport.
It's the dawn of a new day in Tasmanian mountain biking.
There's not many places, you can put trails somewhere like this. It's incredible.
Not for the faint of heart, 35 kilometres of trails around Queenstown Mount Owen, the latest offering from Dirt Art.
Every trail highlights the rugged nature, and that's part of the attraction for riders. It gives a very Alps type feel.
Well, everything else in Tassie, you're through forest, rainforest or something like that, whereas here, like you can see, it's just trail as far as your eye can see, so it's pretty breathtaking and pretty spectacular.
Architects of several highly touted networks around Australia, Dirt Art says this has been one of its most challenging projects.
The way that we build the trails out here has been catered to the environment so that you cause a minimal disruption but create the best product possible.
These trails, part of a wider mountain bike development on the West Coast.
A total game changer. It's a huge reason to stay here and not look elsewhere, and just for my sanity. I love mountain biking.
Having seen other towns revitalise themselves after mountain biking was introduced, it's hoped that this venture can help the West Coast build on its burgeoning reputation as a place that does things a little differently.
What we wanted to see, something that can broaden mountain biking in Tasmania to attract those other broader, extreme mountain bikers as well from overseas.
Leaving locals excited to have a world-class attraction on their doorstep.
The way the mountain and the ruggedness is, it's bringing it all out with the mountain bikes, and so it should be good.
This mountain bike track's only the start, and once people start to see the potential of the area, it's going to be amazing. Another 10 years' time, this place is just going to explode.
The first 4 trails, along with the shuttle service, open on July 23rd. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Dozens of festivals have been left considering their future following a year of cancellations. But the government is hoping to give regional events another chance to thrive with a new $1.5 million grant program.
Baker Street Festival celebrates all things science, and now organisers are excited for its return after an uncertain year.
The festival's bigger than ever this year, and it's really going statewide, so we just can't wait to get amongst it.
But for a time, like so many other festival favourites, COVID left a question mark over its future.
This 18-month period has made all boards and committees look really seriously about their future and whether they can continue to survive.
Now hoping a new $1.5 million grants program will help events bounce back and ease the pressure.
How we can ensure that they can be sustainable into the future and ensure that those events that really do have a heart and soul in a regional community can continue through what's been a really challenging time through COVID.
Put towards creating opportunities for events to survive long term.
What it means is that we can continue to support events that are bringing in people from interstate, bringing people around the state.
Organisers can apply for up to $100,000 in funding, with new and existing events eligible, as long as they're not held in Hobart.
So we want to see more people visiting the Tamar Valley, the northwest, the east coast, the far west parts of Tasmania.
Another step forward in the state's COVID recovery. Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
The Jack Jumpers have announced another major sponsorship deal with the Tasmanian brand. The new club has already attracted almost 2,000 members, with attention now shifting to whether their home arena will be ready in time for the team's first game.
Another logo added to the jersey, the Jack Jumpers signing Bulk Nutrients as a new partner.
To go with a great Tasmanian brand again is something we've been sort of trying to do every time we do a partnership.
Hoping to bring their new players to new heights with a 3-year deal.
It's about, absolutely getting stronger, getting those vertical jumps higher, lasting a bit longer on court.
The focus for the club is now shifting abroad, with a full team close to being finalised.
We're looking for some exciting imports. Scott's trawling the NBA summer leagues and leagues all around the world at the moment. We've got some really good links to the NBA.
The fixture is likely to be released within the next month. It's expected the team's first 2 games will be played on the road, but pressure is mounting to have the MyState Bank Arena finished by mid-October.
There's a lot of work to be done, and it's a crazy timeline that we've put in place, and he knows that there's no option but to be playing basketball come mid-October.
Asking the state government to make sure the northern base is up to scratch as well.
We do need their help in making sure that the Silver Dome is up to NBL standards, and those commitments are there, and I have no doubt that they'll be delivered.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Teams are arriving at the Adelaide Oval for tonight's crunch top 4 clash between Port Adelaide and Melbourne. The Demons will be looking to rebound after a disappointing loss to the Giants last week, while a win for the Power will be an almighty boost to their top 4 chances. You can catch all the action live and free on 7 Tasmania. The Hobart Hurricanes have pulled off a massive signing in the off-season, with the WBBL's all-time leading wicket-taker Molly Strano officially signing on for 2 years.
When I like to do something, I like to go into it wholeheartedly. So I thought, personally, the right move for me would be to join both the Tasmanian teams for both formats.
What I love most about Molly is that she's very serious about her cricket, wants to get better, wants to play at the highest level, but cricket is not her sole identity. So I think she brings a great balance.
The league also unveiled its fixture, with Tassie's first game played against Brisbane Heat at UTAS Stadium.
Good evening. Just like yesterday, all the major population centres recorded 11 degrees. The top temperature was 14 on King Island. Liawini dropped to -7 overnight, and Flinders Island reached 12. Strawn 11, Low Head, St Helens, Friendly Beaches and Grove all 10 degrees today. Ooze 9 and Liawini a top of 3, so a recovery was in the order today. A band of high-level cloud moved over central Tasmania, with cumulus cloud to the south-east and north-west. Eastern Australia found more cloud today, weak bands of cloud south of the Bight, and some rain-bearing clouds sat over southern WA. Tomorrow the high drifts off to the east. That'll be replaced by a trough of low pressure over eastern Australia. A trough and cold front sits south of the next high. The winds east-northeasterly tomorrow at 15 knots over southern waters, but mostly light and variable around the state and over the lakes. A road weather alert continues for icy roads in the morning. Tomorrow for Hobart, a top of 11 degrees and partly cloudy. 11 for Huonville, morning frost. A morning frost for Campania, a -2 to start the day, 11 the top. Launceston, 12 the high after -2. A sunny afternoon, 13 for Devonport, fine and sunny for Georgetown, and 12 the maximum. 12 for Burnie and sunny, morning frost for Strawn, heading for 13 degrees, 13 also for Wynyard. And for St Helens tomorrow, a high of 13, partly cloudy, OK for Swansea, 12 the top, 11 the high for Port Arthur. To the weekend now, and a cold start to Saturday with frost and patchy fog, followed by a fine cool day. Sunny weather over the east and south on Sunday with partly cloudy conditions elsewhere, while on Monday showers will start to develop over the north, then they'll extend to the west and central regions, fine and cloudy over the southeast. Showers and a possible storm for Perth tomorrow, a late shower in Adelaide, 13 and partly cloudy in Melbourne, rain forecast for Sydney and Brisbane. Darwin's dry continues with 32 tomorrow. And currently around the state, it's partly cloudy and cool. That's the weather, Louise. I understand Kim Miller called in sick today without the necessary paperwork. I'll be launching a full inquiry tomorrow.
I'm sure you will, Murph. Thank you for that.